Ooosss and greetings. Welcome to Sigung Stephen LaBounty's Fallen Warriors Ceremony. The purpose for our Fallen Warriors Ceremony is to honor the lineage and legacy, but also to provide us an opportunity to grieve in this difficult time during the pandemic, which we're not allowed to gather as a group. While I'm a proud echo of Sigung Stephen LaBounty, I realize I'm not the only echo of Sigung Stephen LaBounty. There are many that have been with him for decades and decades, and we are very grateful for the opportunity to be a member of this family and to echo the lineage that is so proud. My tribute to my teacher can't be summed up in words, but I love him. I'm grateful for every lesson I've had, and I'm grateful for all of the Kenpo family that he's brought into my life. Ooosss. Lock it up.
The purpose of the Fallen Warriors ceremony is to honor those who have come before us as martial artists and have completed their journey on this earth. Today, the Fallen Warriors we're here to honor are Ed Parker Sr. and Sigung Stephen LaBounty.
Those who are here to honor our fallen warriors, we ask that you sound off your name, beginning with lowest rank up to highest.
Dennis Carter.
Jessica Carter. Amy Trujillo.
Mario Trujillo. Bill Hawkins.
Dawn Armstrong.
Cindy Knowlton. Michaela Weigel.
Jeremy Rose.
Matthew Fenton.
Scott Yersick.
Andrew Pilch.
Rebecca Knight.
Shawn Knight. Lighting the path is an unbroken chain from instructor to student. It's our obligation as teachers to make sure that we point out the follies that we might have gone through in our training and to light the path so that it's safer for all the students that come after us. Sigung LaBounty was outstanding at that, and it's my great honor to stand in the light of his lineage, and today that's what we're here to do.
We'll now begin the ceremony. There'll be 4 items of significance. The red tablecloth represents the heart of the warrior and the blood spilled facing life's challenges. The coarse salt represents the sweat and tears shed through a lifetime of training. The white belt represents the completed journey of the fallen warrior. The black belt is the completion of the physical material for the student. As a student becomes a teacher and serves the students who follows in his footsteps, the belt begins to fade and return to white. The white belt is the return full circle as the warrior has given his all. The candle represents the light and the spirit of the warrior's teachings. We will now call the names of the fallen warriors. Senior Founding Grand Master of American Kenpo, Ed Parker Sr. Founder of Stephen LaBounty's American Kenpo, Sigung Stephen LaBounty. The American Institute of Kenpo honors the warriors that came before us and all that they have given. This candle represents the flame of Kenpo, our ongoing legacy and lineage, perpetual friendship and brotherhood, and the spirit of Kenpo that burns within us all.
We conduct our Fallen Warrior ceremony at sunset to represent the sunset of our great teacher. And what we ask is that you disperse now, and we'll bow out, and we ask that you shake the heavens with your training in a rough and tumble fashion to honor our Sigung. Lock it up.
Sir.
You're dismissed. Train.
All right, first of all, I want to thank Shawn and Rebecca Knight for giving me the opportunity to say some words about Sigung Stephen LaBounty. He's been somebody from the beginning of my training that I always held in such high regard and had so much respect for. Before I ever met him, I had heard of him. And we traveled up to San Francisco to compete, and I walked over to watch the black belts fight, and one of the other black belts had fought and lost his fight, took his belt off, threw it on the ground. Sigung walked up, picked up his belt, and threw it in the trash. He goes, if that's what he thinks of his black belt, that's where it belongs. He did not suffer fools at all. Suffer fools gladly at all. So from there, a couple years later, I started going to Monday morning management meeting in Pasadena, and we met up there. And before I'd gone up, Bob Perry, who I was working for, used to tell me that his dream would be to one day score a point on Steve LaBounty. But we went up there, and I already held him in awe, but I had a chance to get to know him a lot better. And throughout the years going to tournaments, we became greater friends. And we're kind of nod to each other and shake hands when we'd see each other. But when they started with the AKSC, I was asked to join. And I really wasn't interested until I found out that Steve LaBounty and Tom Kelly were involved. And both of those gentlemen I had known from tournaments, and I had a lot of respect for both of them. So I said, if they're involved, then I want to get to know exactly what they're doing. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to get involved myself in the AKSC. And we started going to camps, and from there we developed this great friendship. And we would communicate, we would have long talks. We'd talk about karate, but we'd also talk about God and talk about how our lives were going. And as years have gone by, now it's been over 50 years, I've developed a great friendship, and the more I knew him, the more respect I had for him. His loss is something that's going to affect all of us. But I've mentioned this before. I really hope that we can remember how he lived. And how he lived, he lived like a warrior. He lived like a true martial artist. He never wavered in his standards. We're better in martial arts because of what he has done for us and the example that he set for us. So God bless him. I know he has. I know he's up there looking down on us. So, I think the world of him. Thank you.
Greetings, this is Lee Wedlake. I certainly wish that I'd be able to attend the Fallen Warrior ceremony that you're having there in Tucson on the mountaintop, which is appropriate, to honor our fallen brothers and our teachers, Mr. Parker and Stephen LaBounty. I didn't get to know Sigung until some years ago, and I always regretted that I didn't get a chance to get to know him better much sooner, because in the time that we knew each other, we always shared a lot of information, and there were always a lot of laughs. He was a great guy, but you know that already. He made an impression on all of us, physically, mentally, spiritually. His phrase of "not me, not today" has served me well, and I've passed it on to my students. I'm saddened by his loss, but his legacy lives on. And I would tell you that when you have the opportunity to learn from anyone, especially a man like Sigung, grab it. You just don't know how long they're going to be available for you. My respects to you all, especially to the Knights for hosting. And once again, my regrets that I could not be there in person. Stay well. Be safe.
Hello everybody, whoever's out there. My name is Richard Huck Clannis. I was asked by the family and friends of Steve LaBounty to do a little blurb or something about him as a tribute to my fond farewell for him. As you know, if you didn't know, we just lost him recently. And most people out there know that I got my start in Kenpo with Steve and Tom Kelly. That was in Fresno, California. There was a few of us there, Tom, Steve, Gary Swan, and myself, and we became known as, to a lot of people as the Fresno Four. Now, I hope Gary's still around. I think he is, but I know then it's down to the Fresno Two, which is us two. So this is just a little blurb again to thank Steve for giving me my start the way he did, as he was a very strong basics man, and from this hardstyle background, he really focused a lot on the basics and drilled our butts off doing that stuff, and you don't hardly see that anymore, so I'm really grateful for that, and I think about that every time I think about Steve anyway. So, again, this is my little goodbye to him, and I'll never forget him, and I'll see him with a few other friends in the big dojo in the sky, and not too long off. I hope not, but it's just, we're all getting old, and it happens. So thank you for asking me to do this. Bye.
My name is Marty Znanovich, and on behalf of the family and friends, I was asked to say a few words about Sigung LaBounty. Coming up through the LaBounty lineage, it was definitely impactful on many lives. I experienced huge changes in my life for the better, and challenges that were second to none. Sigung brought out the best in everyone, and he would accept nothing less. He was a great friend, a great leader, a great father figure. He was a person that you could go to and talk to and have a conversation and walk away feeling good about what you discussed. My heartfelt condolences and prayers to the family, to the many friends of Sigung's, to our brothers and sisters in the art that Sigung has touched throughout the years. He will be sorely missed, but his memory will stay with us forever. God bless.
Hi, my name is Andrew Pilch. I'm one of the students of Sigung Stephen LaBounty. I was asked to speak in his memory. I remember as being a great man. I came to him a little bit later in life. I figured I'd share one of my memories with him that I've always enjoyed and kind of cherished in there. Me and my business partners, the Knights, were working one day on the Six, which has a lot of knife techniques in it. And we'd spent a good probably hour working really hard on these different knife techniques, playing around with them, looking at how they engage, having a general good time doing it. Then we took a short little break in between. And I love Sigung. A lot of people call him crotchety. I just liked the way he communicated, and it was fun and enjoyable. He's truly a great guy. But after that water break, he said that he needed to go get something to get his lessons point across. He walked into Mr. Knight's office. Anyone who's ever been into Mr. Knight's office or seen pictures of it out there, he has a wall that is just covered with weapons, and they are not fake play weapons. Now, there are some training weapons in there, but the grand majority of them are sharp-edged weapons. And I remember looking at the Knights, and we're kind of like, oh, what's he getting out of there? And we're thinking, oh, he saw that new training knife Mr. Knight had. That's not what he walked out with. He walked out with a very sharp, very large knife. And immediately, the three of us had massive adrenaline dumps because we were preparing to work live knife techniques against Sigung, who's moving towards us with rather, rough and tumble intent, which he's been known to do. The great thing is Sigung had determined that we probably worked enough on the knife techniques. He was probably just having fun with us. But he sat down and he started telling stories about his past, the people he interacted with, the different struggles he had and he overcome, and those kind of things. And in my memory, that's truly a great thing. We can learn the violence of the art, and that's important. That's something that we do so we can defend the things we cherish and care for. but that moments, Sigung would always stop and speak to the relationships, those positive things in life. And that's something that I truly cherish about him is, yes, I love the rough and tumble. Yes, I wanted him as my instructor because he'd been a cop. He'd been there. He'd done a lot of the competitions. He's seen a lot of the stuff both in the competitive area and the real life area. And he brought a certain reality to what we did in the martial arts. But his heart and who he was truly a great man. And I every day, when I think of him, that little story comes to mind, and just thinking about how we thought he was going to bring the reality with a real knife, and he sat down and he brought the reality of the humanity that we have to have and cherish with each other. So salute as always to you, Sigung. We appreciate who you are, and we really appreciate everything you've done for us, sir.
We'd like to give a heartfelt thanks to everyone who contributed to this tribute to our beloved Sigung. The pictures, the videos, and all the memories bring so much joy to our heart as we mourn the loss of our teacher. We're so well aware that he has impacted so many. He's empowered so many. So we ask you, if Sigung has touched your life the way he's touched mine, if he's made you a better person, the way he's done for me, please share this video. Please share your experiences. Let's shake the heavens. Let Sigung know he's being echoed now and forever until our last day. Ooosss!